All right, let's journey into the heart of Middle-earth to uncover one of J.R.R. Tolkien's most profound ideas. Seriously, it's this concept that powers his entire universe, from these grand epic tales of gods and elves all the way down to the quiet courage of his smallest heroes.
So the central question that you see echoing through all of Tolkien's work is really this. In a world just dominated by these immense, ancient forces of darkness, how can someone who seems totally insignificant hope to make any difference at all? I mean, it's the question Frodo Baggins faced, and Bilbo Q before him.
And Tolkien's answer? Oh, it's beautiful and completely unexpected. He argues that the ultimate weapon against the dark isn't some magic sword or a super powerful spell, it's a song. Now, to really understand what that means, we need to go back, like way, way back, to the very beginning of time itself.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because to truly get a handle on what heroism means in Middle-earth, you first have to understand Tolkien's creation myth. And it's not your typical story about light versus darkness, it's a story about music.
This is the Ainulindale, which means the music of the Ainur. So in Tolkien's universe, the supreme being, Iluvatar, creates these angelic powers called the Ainur, and he gives them a musical theme. And from their collective song, the entire universe, the world of Arda, where all our stories happen, was brought into existence. Think about that. The very fabric of reality is literally music.
So this cosmic symphony, it unfolds in three big movements. First, the Ainur sing Iluvatar's theme in just perfect harmony. But then, one of the most powerful Ainur, a guy named Melkor, gets proud. He starts weaving his own loud, jarring notes of domination and pride into the music, creating this terrible discord. But here's the key part. Iluvatar doesn't just erase the discord. Instead, he introduces two new, even more beautiful themes that actually take Melkor's sour notes and weave them into a grander, more complex, and ultimately triumphant song.
And this just brilliantly shows you the fundamental nature of good and evil in Tolkien's world. Good is the original harmony, right? The creative beauty of Iluvatar's theme. Evil, brought in by Melkor, isn't an equal and opposite force. Nope, it's a corruption, a cacophony. It can't create anything new. It can only dominate and twist what's already there. It's the absence of good. This whole musical conflict sets the stage for, well, for all of history.
So, how does this ancient cosmic discord actually affect the people living in Middle-earth? Well, that sour note became a real, tangible, intelligent evil that actively works to bring ruin and despair to the world. Melkor, who is now known by the name Morgoth, becomes the first Dark Lord.
Just listen to this. When the great human hero Húrin defies him, Morgoth lays this absolutely bone-chilling curse upon his entire family. And this isn't just some vague threat, it's a declaration of war. Morgoth's will, the very essence of that original discord, will now actively work against Húrin's children, twisting their fates toward nothing but despair.
And we see this play out in the incredibly tragic life of his son Turin Turambar. Now, Turin is a classic epic hero. He's brave, strong, noble, but Morgoth's curse works through his own flaws, especially his pride. Every single good thing he tries to do turns to disaster. His sister Nienor is enchanted by a dragon, loses her memory, which leads to their ultimate doom. This isn't just random bad luck, you see. It's an active, intelligent evil targeting them, making sure that even their best intentions end in tragedy. So, when you're faced with this kind of overwhelming cosmic doom, what hope is there? I mean, it feels impossible to fight back against. And that is exactly when Tolkien introduces a completely different kind of hero, one who starts playing a totally new kind of music. Meet Bilbo Baggins. He is the polar opposite of a hero like Turin. He's not a prince, he's not a great warrior, he's a 50-year-old hobbit who values comfort, a good meal, and yes, his pocket handkerchief way more than any kind of adventure or glory. He is completely and wonderfully ordinary. And yet, despite being the ultimate homebody, Bilbo gets thrust into this classic hero's journey. He leaves the warm, womb-like comfort of his hobbit hole and descends into a world full of trolls, goblins, and dragons. But the most important part of this journey? It happens inside him. After he escapes Gollum in the dark, his first thought isn't just about saving himself, it's that he has to go back into that darkness to save his friends. He returns home a completely transformed hobbit.
But Bilbo's real heroism isn't just about facing down goblins or dragons. No, it's defined by a quality that seems almost counterintuitive in a world full of epic battles, the quality of pity. And to get this new definition of a hero, just look at the contrast Tolkien gives us right there in The Hobbit. On one hand, you have Bard the Bowman. He's a traditional hero, right? Slays the dragon, restores a kingdom. His heroism is all about an act of power. But Tolkien uses him as a foil. Bilbo's greatest heroic moments are acts of mercy. He spares Gollum's life in the dark when he has every reason not to. And he gives away the Arkenstone, the greatest treasure imaginable, not for himself, but to prevent a pointless war. His heroism is an act of compassion.
And this higher morality, it's a core Hobbit trait. Decades later, Bilbo's heir, Frodo, says the same thing. Even when he's facing down enemies who've taken over his home, his first instinct is to prevent killing. This is the very ethic that's going to allow him, ultimately, to bear the burden of the ring.
And here's where it all connects back. This simple pity, this small act of mercy from a seemingly insignificant hobbit, that is the new note. It's a quiet melody of compassion that starts to counter the loud, ancient discord of Morgoth. It's a kind of music that evil, in all its pride and power, just cannot understand.
So Tolkien's real secret to hope, then, it doesn't lie in defeating evil on its own terms. Not at all. It's about creating something new, something better, something more beautiful in response to it.
So this brings us right to the core of it all. Evil, that original discord. It's now part of the world song. You can't just erase it. And Tolkien argues that trying to match its violence with more violence is a losing game. Instead, real hope and true victory come from introducing a brand new theme, a theme of pity, mercy, and compassion. The quiet courage of hobbits becomes this unexpected melody that weaves itself around the discord, creating a richer, more meaningful, and ultimately a more beautiful piece of music. And that, right there, is the enduring legacy of Tolkien's work. It's a constant, powerful reminder that you don't have to be a king or a wizard to make a difference. The smallest person, through the smallest act of goodness, can absolutely change the course of history.